Hi, welcome to the fifth episode in our series on how to emotionally cope with a job loss. In this episode, I want to talk about the dilemma that most of you would be facing, especially if your jobs have been affected by COVID-19. And that dilemma is, what should I do next? While there have been a lot of talks in the recruitment circles about companies hiring specialists, and we've seen a trend in the last couple of months where a lot of generalist roles have become redundant and specialists are still in demand even today. So while that is definitely the requirement, on the other end of the spectrum, the requirement is also for you to be extremely flexible, which means that you need to have the ability to let go or unlearn a skill and relearn a completely new skill to adapt to the constantly changing business environment. To ensure that you meet both the requirements can sometimes be very confusing and overwhelming, making this question, what should I do next, a real challenge. My perspective to this is that instead of asking yourself, what should I do next, try asking a different question, and that will make all the difference. That question is, where am I headed? Why am I even here? As philosophical as this question may sound, I think this is one of the most practical questions that we all need to start asking ourselves, especially in the current times. Because when you know your destination, figuring out the path becomes much easier. It's like planning a holiday. When you're planning an annual family holiday, you do not start by asking yourself, what should I do? The first question you would ask yourself is, where do I want to go? And the answer to that will further depend on, why am I planning this holiday? What do I want to experience? Based on what you want to experience, you decide your destination, and basis your destination, you then decide whether you want to take a road or you want to take the cab or you want to take the train or the bus or the flight, depending on your budgets. And that's a fairly easy choice to make once you know your destination. Similarly, in our career and life journeys as well, knowing the destination makes our choice of the path much easier. And here is where I want to quote the great work by author Simon Sinek. He said something very beautiful. He said that people do not buy what you do, but they buy why you do what you do. And therefore, always begin with the why. Asking yourself the big why allows you to connect with that part of yourself that wants to give and share. As human beings, we are all here to be able to share our gifts with others. And asking yourself, where am I headed? Why am I here? Allows you to connect with that part of yourself that wants to give and share. So I have tried to put a structure to help us all navigate this process in a fairly simple manner. The first question you ask yourself is, where am I headed? Why am I here? And to answer this, look at what are the causes that really matter to you. What is it that really concerns you? Say for example, my answer to this question is that I want to be able to impact the lives of thousands of children in this world by making significant changes in the field of education. Because education is an area, is a cause that deeply concerns me. I believe that education can make or break a person. So my destination is fairly clear. The next question is, how do I get there? Now, this is where you need to map it with your passions and your areas of interest. So say, for example, one of the things that I'm really passionate about is facilitation and experiential learning. And I decide that this is how I want to impact the lives of students. So my purpose would be that I want to impact the lives of thousands of children in this world by making significant changes in education by bringing about experiential learning methodologies in the classroom. So my destination is specific and fairly clear. Now the question, what should I do, becomes very simple to answer. So what would I do to get there? One, I need to reach out to teachers and train them. So I know that I need to contact school leaders so that I can get in touch with teachers. That is one thing. The second is that I need to look at what products I can introduce so that learning in the classrooms becomes experiential. So I do my research and say I discover that using augmented reality as technology can help me develop some great products. I can bring a spaceship into the classroom using AR, or I can bring an elephant into the classroom. So I decide to either do a course in AR or connect with somebody who's a specialist who can help me build the products that I need. So whatever I decide, my what ultimately just becomes a means to a much bigger end that is so powerful and so beautiful. When your what becomes just a means to a much bigger end, it does not intimidate you anymore. With the digital boom everywhere, and there's so much of talks about the fact that we all need to be digitally savvy, we all need to be technically or technologically savvy. My dear friends, we need to understand that digital is just a platform. It is just a means to a much bigger, beautiful end. And we need to have at least some vision and clarity of what that end is so that we are motivated enough to get there. And figuring out what is it that I should do to get there becomes fairly easy. So try asking yourself this question, and I'm sure that it will make all the difference. At this point, I also want to take the opportunity to let you know that very soon I will be doing a full-fledged course on how to live a purpose-driven life. So watch out for more updates on that one. Have a great day ahead, a great week. Try this out and let me know how it goes for you. All the best.